Hello children, welcome to this interactive video lecture on fundamental rights. In this video, we will discuss about the meaning of fundamental rights, different types of fundamental rights, and also the difference between directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights. So, now we'll start with fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are those rights which are essential for good life, welfare, and all-round development of the citizens of a country. These rights are enshrined in the Constitution of democratic countries. The Constitution of India provides these fundamental rights as a safeguard against any abuse of power by the government. These have been incorporated in Part 3, Article 12 to 35 of the Indian Constitution. They are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, and right to education. Now we'll discuss about right to equality. Right to equality ensures both equality before law and equal protection of law. This means that the state cannot discriminate between people on the basis of caste, creed, color, sex, religion, place of birth, etc. Then, right to freedom. Right to freedom guarantees 6 basic freedoms to the citizens of India. It includes freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms, freedom to form associations and unions, freedom to move freely throughout India, freedom to reside and settle in any part of India, and freedom to practice any profession, trade, or business. Besides these 6 freedoms, the right to freedom provides that no one can be punished or prosecuted for the same offense more than once. Second, a person cannot be deprived of his life and liberty. Third, a person has the right to seek and receive information from the government and other public authorities. Now, we'll discuss about the right against exploitation. Right against exploitation prohibits slavery, beggary, and other forms of forced labor and trafficking of human beings and employment of children below the age of 14 years in factories, mines, and other hazardous occupations. Then, right to freedom of religion. This right provides that the citizens of India have the right to profess, practice, and propagate the religion of their choice. There is no state religion in India. Number 5 is cultural and educational rights. It ensures that the different cultural groups within the country have the freedom to preserve and promote their language, script, and culture. And sixth one is right to constitutional remedies. It provides for the right to move the court for protecting the fundamental rights. Then last one is the right to education. It provides free and compulsory education to all children from the age of 6 to 14 in such a manner as the state may by law determine. Now we'll discuss about the difference between directive principles and fundamental rights. See, directive principles are provided in Part 4 of the Constitution, whereas fundamental rights are provided in Part 3 of the Constitution. Directive principles are not justiciable or enforceable by any court of law, but fundamental rights are justiciable. The citizens can seek protection from a high court or Supreme Court. Directive principles are meant for the government to create certain privileges for the citizens, whereas fundamental rights are privileges in existence for the citizens to enjoy. Directive principles are mere directions to the state to attain certain set of objectives, whereas Fundamental rights are a certain kind of restriction on the state. Directive principles aim to establish a welfare state. Fundamental rights aim to establish political democracy. Directive principles, their scope is wider, is they deal with wide range of subjects including international peace and security, whereas the scope of fundamental rights is limited as they are concerned with the individual rights. So this is about the difference between uh, directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights. Thank you, children.